Podcast. I'm on this thing here today with Matt. Y'all know Matt from several previous episodes. He has become part of the Bustin Bubbles Outdoors team here, and can't say how excited I am for that and to see where this duck season is going to take us. We got some pretty big things here coming up, so hope y'all enjoy this episode. This sumbitch is brought to you by Four Rivers Layout Boats and Moultrie Mobile. If you want the best quality handmade product you're going to get, whether it be a boat or a sled or whatever, hit them boys up at fourriverslayoutboats.com. And if you want high quality, high definition pictures of your deer, your coons, your possums, your wild ass dogs, whatever it is, MoultrieMobile.com. I'm running the Edge cameras, and I couldn't be happier. Throw it up with one of them little solar packs. Look, it's a game changer. I'm telling you, it's OV. But I reckon we'll roll on into this thing. How you doing tonight, Matt?
Oh man, I'm happy to be here. Glad to be part of the Bustin Bubbles team. Looking forward to a great duck season, hopefully.
Oh yeah, hell yeah! I'm counting down the days. We got a month and 3 days left. And I'm itching for it. I'm like an damn meth head. I feel like I'm walking around scratching, waiting on duck season to start.
Dude, I am beyond ready.
It's been a long time. Duck season ended on kind of a not high note for us last year. It kind of due to nobody's fault but our own.
Yep. No, we kept looking in the same areas where it was all froze up, and we should have gone a little bit further south than we did. So.
Well, we probably shouldn't have got so shit house that one night too, and that would have helped a little bit. But
yeah, we don't discuss that night.
We're gonna talk about early season prep on this thing, what we're doing to get ready for early teal season in a month, and like I say, I'm itching. I know as we were getting ready to start recording this thing, I was looking around and I said, "Oh, my teal call's on my desk here. I forgot it got knocked off the counter last year. It was sitting on the counter in the kitchen and got knocked off and broke. I mean, but it still blows fine. It's broke and that pisses me off, you know."
Yeah, understandably.
But what kind of preparations have you been into for the shenanigans that is September teal season?
Well, as you have seen from my Snap stories, there have been preparation shenanigans.
Yes.
But I guess the first thing, I haven't done it like I should have yet, but I would recommend for everyone out there listening is go ahead and get yourself a medical kit prepped for your blind bag or your backpack. Because, let's face it, we have a sport where we're out there in the woods or in the marsh, and, wherever you're at, it's just you and your buddies. There's firearms, there's snakes, there's all kinds of stuff where, a tourniquet, some, medical stuff would be handy. So go ahead and build yourself a nice little med kit. You can buy one off Amazon or any military surplus store super easily and put that in your blind bag just in case, if it hits the fan, you can, apply first aid, combat life-saving aid until you can get to the hospital or get a casevac or an ambulance out to you.
What the hell's a casevac? What is that?
Casualty evacuation. It's like an ambulance or a chopper. So that's what we call a non-medical vehicle in the military for evacuating casualties or people who've been hurt.
All right. Well, probably would be a good thing to have a first aid kit. I personally do not have a first aid kit, and I probably should because I do some dumb shit sometimes. If you're going to get a first aid kit, learn how to use all the stuff in the first aid kit properly, especially the tourniquet. You don't want to be bleeding out and have to put a tourniquet on yourself or be trying to put a tourniquet on someone else and you just don't know how to use it because at that point it's just useless. Mm-hmm. You put that thing on too loose and then they're still going to bleed out and die. And like I said, I don't want to see nobody bleed out and die. I mean, you might, depending on who you are or who your buddies are or whatever, but I don't want to see nobody bleed out and die. So know what's in the first aid kit, know how to use it properly. You know what I mean? But most importantly, don't shoot none of your goddamn buddies. How about that?
Yeah, no. Obviously, gun safety is a key factor at all points in time, whether you're duck hunting or not. Know where your weapon's pointed, make sure your weapon is on safe until you're ready to acquire your target and destroy that target. And just use common sense. I
Yeah.
know we all get excited. Bubbles especially loves to get excited for those squishy bears in the morning, but we're always pretty good about making sure that no one's in front of the barrel that is going off when we're
Yes.
acquiring our ducks.
Yes. There have been a couple of ears rang a couple of times, but ain't neither one of us been shot in the head so far. So,
That's right. And we always hear those stories on Facebook and Instagram of some kid down so and so got shot or got peppered, and that could be you. Not on purpose, but it could happen. So be prepared. If that were to unfortunately happen to you, what you need to do when that occurs.
talking about hunting safety and stuff, if you're going to be taking a boat out anytime, not just during hunting season, but during hunting season especially, maybe not so much early teal, but as the year progresses, as it gets colder, if you're in a boat, how about you have your wader belt on and you wear a life vest? I don't give a damn if you want to look like the fucking cool guy or whatever. I'm not wearing a life vest because nobody else is wearing a life vest. Okay, well, if ain't nobody else wearing a life vest and they go overboard and they got their waders on and they ain't got no wader belt on, well, guess what? They're sinking to the bottom. You got your life vest on. You're not going to sink to the bottom. I mean, I feel like you see too much of that stuff. I heard of too many stories last year of guys getting thrown overboard or whatever and drowning or almost drowning. Wear your wader belt, wear your life jacket. And it's that simple. They're uncomfortable, yes, but they make new life jackets now to where they're not just old bulky ones. You hit the water and they do whatever they do. It ain't about looking cool. It's about you want to be alive at the end of the day. You want to go home to your old lady. You want to go home to your kids. Do what you can to be safe out there.
For sure. And while we're on that topic of safety, so teal season, as we all know, is a very hot and oftentimes muddy experience. As you found out with me last year, you're going to encounter mud in teal season. So if you're alone, especially if you're alone, make sure you have a stick or a mojo pole somewhere to where you can at least try to get yourself out if you get stuck in the mud. And if you can't, just lose the waders and shimmy out of there and be safe. You saw it last year, I guess it was 4 or 5 seasons ago up in North Georgia during regular duck season. My buddy Jason and I were out on the lake, and that silt mud got out there and got to him, and he came real close to losing a pair of waders. He was up to his mid chest, in the mud. And I have a very funny video of us pulling him out, and it got scary for a minute, but it was kind of funny.
I hadn't seen very much of that mud up here, but I know in Alabama, a lot of the places that we hunted had that real thick clay silt mud. And there were times where I'd be hunting down there that, you're walking, it's the water, you're knee deep water. All of a sudden you're, waist deep in mud. And it's like, oh, fuck, well, how am I going to get out of here? That's something I think people need to be wary of too. And while we're on the topic of that, it is hot. It's muggy. There's mosquitoes. Carry water with you. You know what I mean?
Yeah, drink water.
Dragging a jet sled, take you one of them little bitty old coolers full of water. You want to stay hydrated. You get out there. While yes, it may be 50-something, 60-something degrees in the morning when you first get out there, by 9 o'clock, as we all know, it's 90 fucking degrees. You don't want to be out there getting dehydrated and going into heat stress or having a heat stroke or whatever while you're out there trying to chase birds. That makes a fun day not so fun really quick.
Yep. So, and for you Southern boys out there, it's nice and warm. So you know what's out there. Them gators. If you're down south, you already know them gators are going to be out there, and you gotta be ready. They may not get you, but they can definitely get your dog and definitely get your birds. I've lost many birds to the gators, unfortunately.
Gators and cottonmouths is going to be thick during teal season. That's a given. You know what I mean? I ain't really got no good use for a cottonmouth, so if I see one, I'm just going to send an old teal load at it. You know what I mean? We're already here. Might as well.
Yep. Go ahead and bust him.
Right. The deader he is, the less he's got a chance of messing with you. So, other than that, stay hydrated, do what you can to be safe, be prepared. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Shit happens all the time, and don't ever think it can't happen to you, because when you start getting complacent, that's when it will happen to you.
Yep, for sure. Anyway, getting back to the preparation side of things, we've gone on our little safety chat for the day. So, in addition to, of course, having a med kit and making sure, you at least have a plan if something goes wrong in the duck blind, I guess the second thing I did was really go ahead and prep the decoy spread. Like, I was out there, scrubbing down with some soap and water all the decoys, checking the rig lines, checking the batteries and the wiring and all the spinners, turning on the little splashers. Just go through and check your gear. If it's broke, go ahead and hit you up a Rogers sale or something and buy you a new one. If it's not broke or if it's damaged, like some of my teal decoys were from a certain person, Bubbles, just throw some flexi on them suckers and they still float. Shout out to my Avian X boys because, again, Bubbles, he massacred like 6 of them. And they're all going to be in the spread again this year for round 2 because I patched them and they're still looking good as new.
Well, I'll tell you what, I washed my decoys down last year, about February, March. Hell, they sat on the back porch they sat in the back of my truck for a month after season, and then they sat on the back porch for another month, and then finally I just went out there one day and took some Dawn and a bucket of water, and I had another bucket of clean water to rinse them, and I just scrubbed the shit out of them real good. So they're good and clean. They're hanging up. They're ready to go. All I got to do is go grab the carabiner off my little hanging rack and throw them in the back of the truck, get ready to go. I guess we're still working with, how many teal would I have? 2 dozen or so. We're working with 2 dozen minus like 3 or 4, because, again, I have been known to shoot decoys, and my teal decoys, when you shoot them, they don't tend to make it. So, oops.
That's what they're there for. They did their job. The ducks that were in there with the decoys died too. So,
dude, I was really hoping that one day that we was going to see one of them pelicans eat one of those teal decoys.
Dude, I really thought that they were going to just go over and just.
Bro, I ain't never in my life. And them pelicans was like, they was chilling 30 yards from us. And I'm like, oh, they're going to eat one of these teal. They're going to eat one of these teal. And no, they never did. I thought, you rat bastards.
No.
I wanted to see it so bad.
That would have been cool. I would have been mad, but it would have been cool at the same time.
Well, what do you think about running for spinners this year during early teal?
Well, I think teal season especially is a great time to use spinners because, well, it's a lot of new birds, and teal, at least blue-wing teal, are pretty attractive to spinners overall. So, and as you know, I do love my Lucky Duck XHDI and HDI, and I happen to have another one of those now this year, so gonna be breaking that out. Even though it's a green head decoy, it's gonna be coming out there. That beautiful remote control that I love so much that Lucky Duck does. It's got the magnetic wings that go black side up when you turn it off. That big 6.3, I think it is, bolt battery, and it's too nice not to take with me.
Did you get you a new mouse tool for that thing, or are you waiting?
Oh yeah. So we now have mouse tools for all spinners. So I think we have 3 or 4 mouse tools cranked up ready to go. And I'm curious to see how the mouse tool does in the teal spread. So
I think we're about to go brazy during early teal. I think opening day, because I guarantee we're about to have like 6 freaking spinners out. Probably 4 dozen flies. It's about to go brazy, son. Shoot. Hey, and with that new sled.
Oh, dude.
It's over with.
It is over with.
Might have to find me a little cart or something that we can throw that thing on just for early teal. A little wagon or something.
Right.
But because it's gonna be some long drags and some long walks, but
yep.
The room that is in that thing, I mean, it's so big it don't even fit in the back of my truck. You know what I mean?
That thing is the Four Rivers hooked you up with that, man. That thing is fantastic.
I'm telling you. Hey, shout out to Brock and Levi. Y'all hit them boys up for a sled or a layout boat. I'm telling you, I say it all the time. Hit them boys up.
Yeah, they have a great product over there, great customer service, great guys. They, if you want it, they can get you.
I'm telling you, it's all handmade, high quality American product, American craftsmanship. You know, don't go to one of these other brands where you're going to be buying some Chinese junk that ain't going to last a year or two. And if it breaks, it don't matter if you're running 90 down the highway and for some reason it comes out the back of your truck and you end up dragging it 3 miles and you drag a hole in it, they'll still fix it. Or they'll send you the stuff for you to fix it and walk you through how to fix it. You know what I mean? I've talked to them about that stuff. They're all about it. They're going to help you out. So get with them and get you a good product. I guess the next thing we need to talk about is calls. So as for getting close to season, I start blowing my calls about this time. I'll rip on them in the truck, rip on them in the house a little bit. I know I can see that yours are hanging up behind you there.
Mm-hmm.
What I like to do usually this time of year is I'll take all my calls one night and I'll pull them apart and I'll wash them real good with dish soap and water, and I'll lay everything out to where it can dry and get all the dip residue out of it from the last season and any mud or whatever it might be in it. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Other than that, as I was telling Matt before we got on here, I run a Sure Shot teal call. It looks like a Jensen, old baby Jensen. And last year, when I pulled it, it was on the counter, and it got knocked off the counter, and it broke, but it still blows fine. It's the other end of it that is broke. But I tell you, we getting ramped up here, ready to go, son.
Yeah, no, it's about that time where, so for my calling, just because I don't like to practice in the house because, the wife will get unhappy with me, I like to rotate the lanyard into the truck. So on the drives to and from work, I'll just be practicing the old duck calls. And for my teal call, I think I told you this before, my teal call is a little Frankenstein of my own creation. It's the barrel of a 737 duck call, and the insert is one of a custom call my buddy back home for me made, Black River call, and I pieced it together and it just sounds just right. So it's a Frankenstein, but it works. So, and before I forget, talking about the layout boats of Four Rivers, as you know, I do love to peruse Facebook Marketplace for hours and hours on end, and I see a lot of layout boats for sale. But I'll tell you what, I have yet to see a Four Rivers layout boat for sale on Facebook Marketplace. I've seen a lot of those other brands that I won't talk about on here, but I have yet to see a Four Rivers layout boat ever being sold on Facebook Marketplace.
I've seen 2 in the last 2 years. So, they last and people love them. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Hell, I was about to say something else, and I feel like I do remember us talking about that call last year. Pretty much the only thing I'll blow during teal season is this teal call and my whistle. And I'll blow a mallard call sometimes if they're just being weird, but as you know, that worked out for me real good one time last year. You were taking one of your famous walkabouts, and there come 3 or 4 of them buzzing by that you done jumped up, and I hit them with that mallard call, and they turned around and come right back. I said, them birds is long gone, son. No, they come right back in the decoys.
Yep. No, I had to go. It gets slow about then when I like my walkabouts, and that particular walkabout you're talking about, I got me a single shot double on that one. So
I remember that.
And sent the survivors your way, where you wiped out all but 1 or 2 of the rest.
Yeah, I think I shot 2 of them, and Will shot 1 of them, something like that.
There weren't many loads of tail that day.
No, I tell you what. Last year we talked about this not long ago, but last year, we did on opening day. We took our granddad's old humpbacks out and hunted with them. This year we're talking about doing double barrels. What do you got for a double barrel?
So my double bear is nothing fancy. It is a 26-inch barrel Mossberg Silver Reserve over under that I acquired through a very strange set of circumstances. Pretty much many years ago, my buddy left it at my house and has since moved multiple times, and I keep trying to get back to him or he's trying to get back from me, and it just never works out. So he finally just like, hey, send me X amount of money and we'll sign the paperwork and it's your shotgun now. So
Oh hell yeah! I think mine is actually the same. It's a Mossberg Silver Reserve over under, and I actually bought it from Tommy, and it's 20 gauge. I've got one of my granddad's old double barrels. This is side by side. It's a 12, I believe. It's a 12 because I was gonna say the six. It's a 16, but all the 16 I got is a semi. But I don't know if that's one of them ones you can shoot steel shot out of or not. And I ain't trying to fuck around and ruin a damn old shotgun and shoot steel shot out of it. You know what I mean?
yeah, that would be very, very bad.
Yeah, very, very not good. Very not good. But I am excited to go out and break out the damn over-unders and get on some birds. We've got almost less than a month. I think September 14th it opens up for us here.
Yep.
And I am so damn excited. In the next couple of weeks, I'll get out and do some scouting. Where are you thinking about scouting anywhere different this year for early teal, or kind of doing the same thing as last year? Or what's your thoughts on that?
So that's a great question. So I'm definitely thinking about scouting to the west, where we went that first weekend of Big Duck last year. That was not so hot.
Oh, I mean, the first weekend of Big Duck, no, we wore their ass out last year.
Of not our zone, but the other zone to the west.
Okay, yeah. Okay.
So I'm gonna probably look out there. So if we have water, which is again a big if, I'm gonna look some places around here, up to the north of me a little bit, and then the famous mud hole that you love so much. Gonna have to check that out again. I guess the biggest thing with teal season is teal love that really shallow, muddy, kind of mud flat type habitat. So wherever there's that kind of habitat and that kind of water level, that's where I'm gonna go looking at. There's birds there. Maybe I found the spot. This is the pin.
I think I'm kind of in the same boat. I was gonna go south and then west, depending on how my spot to the south looked, because that's where we've been, or that's where I've hunted most of the teal season the last 2 years, and we've had some banger ass hunts out there.
It has been good to us.
I'm gonna go there, and I figure I might go look at where we went opening day of Big Duck last year, and maybe go take a look at the old pintail hole, see what it's looking like. 'Cause it's fairly shallow there. I was looking at the recent imagery on X, and I feel like it looks kind of shallow. So I think we could do real good on them there. I mean, I've seen what we did to the mallards and the pintails there, so I just know we could do good on the blue wings there.
I think you're right. I definitely think you're right. I think a teal especially is, it's finding out exactly the X, like where they want to be. You're not going to really work teal as much as you can big ducks. Like they have that one particular little mud hole they want to be in, and that is where they're going to go. I guess the best example I have of that was when I was not on the X and tried to, work birds off of the X and failed miserably. So for any of you who have seen that Zero Duck 30 post and video on YouTube of their banger teal hunt, I think it's like a 12 or 13 man limit that day. Yeah, so I was like 400 yards away from them on a little pothole, and I watched that whole thing. And I got to watch as teal after teal just got sucked into that one little tiny spot, and it was not fun.
Well,
it was hot. It was muddy. There were gators everywhere. And I think I shot a dove that day, and that's it.
It seems to me the spot that we hunted opening day last year and a couple other times. I know it's a fucking haul for you, but it seems like if there's teal around, that's where they want to be for the most part, you know. And
Mm-hmm.
even last year, going into it scouting, I'd only seen one or two birds there, but that kind of let me know, okay, they're going to be here next weekend because that's how it was the previous year. You know, we went out to do a little dove hunt, and we didn't shoot shit for doves, but there was teal going in and landing in that water, and I think, okay, I think we saw 6 or 8 that day, and we went out opening day and shot a 2-man. And then last year I saw 1 or 2 in there the weekend before, and then we went out and shot, I think, 12 between the three of us.
Yeah, we were
something like that.
12 or 15. We were a couple short of a 3-man.
Mm-hmm. I want to say we were 2 short of a 3-man. And, you know, we had a lot of hunts last year where we ended up 1 short of a 2-man, 3 short of a 2-man, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
It would seem like every weekend we'd have one of those hunts where it's, oh, man, we're 2 birds shy of a 2-man. Do we stay here for another couple hours and try to stick it out, or we go into the house? Well, by that time it's 2 o'clock. Well, we're going to the house.
Yep. And I think, not to dig on us, but I think part of that is, you know, usually in our first 2 or 3 volleys of the morning, we'll have one where we'll all dump the guns and every bird will make it out of the hole alive. And we're like, what did we just do? And then the next volley, the volley before, we'll just like massacre them all.
I feel like that seemed to be a thing last year. And it might be because, you know, we're not going out and shooting skeet or shooting doves or whatever to get ready for teal, or it might be that we're just excited. I know for me, a lot of times I just get so damn excited when that first group of birds flies through that I'm like, oh my God, it's go time, you know, and it's just like boom, 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 boom. I'm like, I don't even know if I was shooting at them, but fuck it, I was shooting.
No, you do get excited. And speaking of shooting skeet, that is, you know, for those of you getting prepped for the season, you know, break out the shotgun. You know, if you can shoot around the skeet, you know, you've got that a club close by, you got your own skeet throw at the house, you know, knock the rust off, because it definitely will pay dividends when you actually get to live targets later on in the year.
I think
I need to be better about that myself.
Same. I think next weekend when we go out shooting, I was thinking about either buying the thrower and you buying the skeet, or me buying the skeet and you buying the thrower, something like that. And going out and throwing them and shooting the shit out of them, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of, I know that I have talked a lot of shit on Migra ammunition on this podcast. Well, we might be turning a new leaf. Y'all know my buddy Forrest with Flyway Marketing Solutions. He's doing work with Migra now. And I ran down some of them boys at Rogers, and I talked to him a little bit. And I was like, hey, you know, a while back, I bought a box of y'all shells, and didn't a single one of them go off through my gun, you know, and it really turned me off because so many people talk so good about Migra. So many guys I know, they're like, dude, you got to shoot Migra. You got to try to shoot Migra, this and that. And I'm just like, I'm not going to go spend $35 on a box of shells and not have any of them shoot through my gun, you know. But they called me last week, and they've got me a package coming out with some shells in it. We're going to try them again. You know, hopefully they shoot through the gun. If not, then I'll call them back up. Hey, man, these shells still ain't shooting. You know what's going on. But we may be turning a new leaf. I may have to take all the shit back that I said about Migra. I mean, the guys that I talked to with them were really good, too. You know what I mean? They were.
Yeah.
I sat on the phone with the guy last Monday and bullshitted for like an hour and a half. So, I think that'll be good. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Even if the shells don't shoot, you know what I mean? They contacted me and they're trying to make it right. So good on them, you know?
Yeah, that's good customer service that they're trying to, you know, get that solved with you. And, you know, hey, you know, we all get stuff wrong, you know. I know Migra was a pretty new company back when you shot those shells. And, you know, everybody has growing pains, you know. But, you know, sometimes we just things happen. I talked a lot of crap about the Muscatool when I first saw it at Squad Fest. What was that last year?
Yes.
And
You and me both.
yeah, but we were walking like that's bullshit. Like that's a gimmick. That's another way to waste our money. Look at us now.
If you
I will
want
not
the
leave home
Muscatool,
without that thing.
go to bluebirdwaterfowl.com and use code Bubbles. All right, it'll get you $10 off the Muscatool. Go do it right now. I'm telling you, you don't want to go this season without it.
Mm-hmm.
Matter
of fact,
now.
Today after I got home from playing Army, I saw a gentleman in a duck hunters group in another state, and he was like, "So I have these pintails in this spot, and they always circle and fly off." And I'm over here thinking, "You need the Muscatool."
Oh, I was thinking that too.
You need it.
I seen the same post, and I was thinking it, and I was like, "Is anybody else going to say it, or am I going to have to comment on there?" And I didn't comment on there, just to see anybody else going to say it, or
Yep.
But time we get off here, if ain't nobody else said nothing on it, then I'll jump on there.
That's all. We'll show them the light.
And you can't go wrong with them things. It's wild as fuck. It don't seem like it would work, but by God, it pulls birds in like you wouldn't believe. I mean, we were standing in the decoys last year. How many times throwing decoys around, and they still suck straight into it.
Straight into it.
Mallards, pintails, green wings, they all just straight to it.
Again, the biggest thing for me is the effect it has on pintails, because we all know it. Pintails love to do that circle, gone.
Yep.
And I can't think of a single time where the Muscatool was out that happened. Either they never gave us the look, or they looked and then started that spiral down. Money.
Yep. There was a day where I was out chasing a goose. Matter of fact, I shot a goose, and I swear, I know it died, or it should have died. Anyway, it sailed, and I watched it. I got like 60 yards away from that thing, and I could see it standing there in this little cut in the grass. I said, "Oh yeah, his ass is mine. Just got to break this ice and get over there." Time I got all the ice broke and got over there, I'm looking, and I didn't see no goose. I didn't hear no goose, and so I started finding feathers on the ground and like trying to chase feathers. And I looked for that thing for like an hour and a half, and I'm watching you over here just killing birds with the Muscatool. I think you shot a pintail, Haley shot a pintail, all while I was gone,
Yep.
And I'm just sitting there watching the show. I'm like, wow. Okay.
The other side of your wild goose chase, literally. So Haley, my wife, and I are in the A-frame, just, chilling, working birds. And about 20, 30 minutes after you had left, this flock of about 7 or 8 big Canadas comes flying by. They're not even giving us a look. Didn't even try to call at them. And then about 45 seconds after they crossed the front of the blind, this one lone goose comes from behind, and I'm like, I wonder if that was Bubbles Cripple.
Odds are it was my cripple, because I never found it. I walked all through that tall, thick shit, never once seen that goose.
Mm-hmm.
But no, when I'm over there breaking ice, I broke through 300 yards of ice trying to get over there to it.
Every bit of it.
Finally get over there, and I'm like, oh, I can see him. He's right there. I just got to get close enough to put one in him. And then I get over there, and he's nowhere to be found. And I thought, what joy this is about to be. It ain't nothing but like buck brush, but still, that buck brush, when it's icy and it's flooded, it sucks. That sucked.
Yeah, that was not a fun time.
Jesus Christ, it was terrible. I mean, terrible. But I am going to try. I have a spec call. I am fixing to pick it up and really start trying to learn how to blow it in preparation for this season. Because how many times did we see specs or have specs come close to us and we couldn't do nothing with them? I mean, too many times to count. There was one time last year that me and Will were out hunting, and there was some Canadas in there flying around. No, it wasn't. It was some specks. That's what it was. It was specks. There was 2 of them, and I had started calling at them with my Canada call. Although I'm not the best on a goose call, I was blowing that Canada call at them, and they started to like circle, and they circled once, and they said, "All right, see ya." So I think the spec call is something I'm going to try to learn this year. And then I actually did blow that spec call one time last year. We were hunting the money hole. It was me and my brother-in-law. And the lone snow goose sucked all the way in from far as hell away. And he put the feet down in the decoys, hit the water. I mean, spinners were going, everything. And he just come all the way in. So I think the spec call is something to really, really learn this year.
Yeah, for sure. Because there was a lot of white fronts around last year.
Yeah,
there was. I think part of that was because it never really got cold until January, but they were thick for a good part of the season. Really the whole season.
Well, I feel like that's how it was even the year before. Is once they came, they didn't leave. They were here and they stayed here, and you'd always just see flocks of them, and it'd be flock after flock after flock. But I couldn't do nothing with them because I didn't blow a spec call. I don't even on a spec decoy, you know what I mean? But I think, like I say, I think blowing a spec call may help us out on that. And it'll definitely help us out with all the snow geese that are always around, because for some reason the snow geese and the specks intermingle with each other, and I don't know why, but I'm gonna eat the shit out of them. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah. Well, if we can get them close enough. my first trip to Arkansas with Liam and the boys many years ago, we were in a pit blind on the edge of a rice field, and the specks, as you can imagine, they weren't coming in.
Oh, of course.
They got just low enough to where we got like 6 or 8 in a couple days just from doing some good old Georgia sky busting from many practices of wood ducks. They came just low enough, and we let them have it as they came over the blind.
I was trying to do some of that when we were in Stuttgart a couple of years ago on a trip that shall not be named.
Mm-hmm.
If y'all are going to try to do a hunt with Arkansas County Guide Service, I highly, 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 what is that called? Urge against that. Do not use Arkansas County Guide Service for anything. Nothing.
10 out of 10, don't recommend.
Well, how many people was there? 12, 15?
12.
Something like that?
Yeah.
12 out of 12, don't recommend. Don't use Arkansas County Guide Service for nothing. Nothing. I don't care if you're running down the road and you see their little shack on the side of the road and you got to take a dump. You better off taking a dump in one of them rice fields. I'm telling you right now.
So speaking of that, real quick. So on the news today, I saw that a Secret Service agent has gotten caught picking a lock and breaking into a store, and I think Boston, during a presidential campaign. I won't mention which campaign. And was caught on camera breaking into a shop to take a dump.
I believe that.
And I find that hilariously funny. One, because he got caught breaking in somewhere to take a dump. And 2, the fact that if you or I did that, we would be in jail right now.
Oh, yeah.
For B&E. And probably criminal trespass. But, just because he's a Secret Service agent, he gets to say sorry, and it's okay.
Rules for thee, not for me.
Mm-hmm.
Tyranny at its finest. This is your taxpayer dollar, folks. Look what your taxpayers do, or look what your tax dollars do for you. Let's not, anyways.
Anyway, back
I'd like
to gear
see
prep.
another Boston Tea Party, but I'm afraid we won't never see no Boston Tea Party because there's too many pansies in this country in order for that to happen. Too many people talk about it, but I don't think at the end of the day, nobody's really about it. I mean, you see what happens when somebody is really about it, you know what I mean? They end up in prison or some dumb shit. Meanwhile, all these folks can do their insider trading and their, illegal voting scheme bullshit. But God forbid somebody do the right thing for once and they're going to end up in prison or dead.
Yep. Anyway,
Anyways,
back to gear prep.
what kind of shells you about to shoot during early teal?
So my lovely mother-in-law, bless her, got me for Christmas last year like 4 boxes of the Boss Shorty 2 3/4 inch number 5s. So at least a couple of those teal are going to be dying at that. But I also shot last year because, again, shooting Boss at teal is a little pricey. I shot, what did I shoot? I think it was Kent Teal Steel. That's exactly what it was. It was Kent Teal Steel. And I have to say, I was very pleased with how that performed last year when I wasn't shooting metal humpback A5 because it did very well. And I'll probably dig up a couple boxes of that here in a couple weeks.
I feel like I shot that a couple of years ago. I feel like my go-to for early teal season is to hit the old Walmart because for some reason, August, September, Walmart has boxes of steel shot 6 and 7.5 for $10.99 a box. That's usually Winchester Super X, I believe.
Ooh.
And anyways, I went to Shields a couple of weeks ago and I bought some stuff for my 20 gauge and I bought a box of something else for my 12 gauge. I think it might have been. I think one of them was Federal and one of them was like Fiocchi or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, I'm gonna be shooting probably Fiocchi that first day because that's 20 gauge, and I'm excited. You know, I'm really just excited to get out there and hear the little blue rocket sounding like F-15s flying overhead.
That's such a beautiful sound.
I have missed that sound so dearly.
Me too.
This time of year especially, I'm missing it. I'm missing being out there in the swamp, smelling the damn swamp mud, hearing the birds fly, seeing the birds fly, you know. I'm missing it. That duck depression hit hard at the end of January last year, and it hit hard and it stayed on hard for several months.
Yep. No, talk about that sound. You know, anyone out there, you know, you want to get your wife or your girlfriend or your fiance or one of your children or even just a friend, and you want to get them hooked on duck hunting, take them out during teal season. You know, you're gonna see a lot of birds. Hopefully, you're gonna have the birds do what they need to do and decoy right. You know, even if you're not carrying a gun. You know, my wife for like the second time ever came out to the blind during teal season last year, and when she heard that first big group sliding by, that. You should have seen her face. I don't know if you remember it, Bubbles. Like, she was like, whoa, that's cool.
Yeah, I remember it was, what was that? Hunter, what was that? I said, that's blue wings.
that's the ducks. I love that sound.
Hopefully we don't have too many wood ducks hanging around during early teal this year. Hopefully not so many widgeon. We for the last 2 years, I've been seeing a fairly good bit of wood ducks during early teal season. Last year, we saw some widgeon and some spoonies mixed in with the wood ducks.
Mm-hmm.
And I tell you what, a lot of people seem to get the wood ducks, the identification wrong during early teal season. For whatever reason, I can't imagine why, but we're y'all learn to ID your ducks good. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yep, I'd say definitely. You know, make sure you know what kind of duck it is before you go blasting. Unless you're one of them lucky folks in South Carolina, Tennessee, and Florida who has an early wood duck season as well. So in that case, you know, if it's flying at light, bust it unless it's a whistling duck or something. So
it must be nice.
Don't go to jail or lose your shotgun in your truck over a wood duck or a grebe or something.
Right.
If you don't know what it is, just wait. It's not worth, you know, that ticket or even worse, losing your license or your hunting privileges. So
yeah, if you don't know what it is, don't shoot at it. You know, you're supposed to always be able to identify your target, know what's beyond your target. You know, really get you. What's that called? what's that thing? That little book called what's it?
Uh,
La Master. I think it's La
yeah,
Master or La Mange or
Lemaster's
something
book.
like
Yeah,
that.
that's Lemaster's. Yeah.
Look, I got one of them when I first started duck hunting, and that thing was a real help. Although I wasn't seeing very many ducks in Alabama, it was a real help. You
Yeah.
learn fairly quick to look at these birds and look at the wing patch, look at the head shape, look at how
Mm-hmm.
long the neck is, stuff like that. And I'm guilty. I know you're guilty of sometimes you look at something and you're like, damn, what kind of bird that is? Oh well, I ain't shot nothing yet. Let me boom,
Mm-hmm. But I can think of a time where we we might have pulled up on a bird and then I yelled spoony, spoony, spoony. Because it looked like a teal. It flew like a teal, and then it turned its head, and I was like, "Wait, no, no, no!"
Yeah, I seen it turn its head, and right as it turned its head at the last minute, he said, "Spoony, spoony." I swung my gun a little bit further to the left. That way I wasn't shooting at it. And I was already pulling the trigger at that point. I said, thank God.
So again, mistakes happen. If mistakes do happen, do the right thing. Don't mud stop that bird, but do your best to identify your targets before you engage them.
Right. Carry your bird. If you shoot it, carry it out with you. The game wardens, a lot of times they're duck hunters too. They know how things go. Everybody makes mistakes. You know what I mean? And the game wardens know that. And as long as you're not walking out with a damn limit of wood ducks or a limit of fucking widgeon or something in early teal season, they'll help you out. They're going to take it from you. They're probably going to take that bird from you. But you may not walk away with a ticket.
Yeah.
Matter of
And
fact,
again, just to clarify, we are not condoning shooting non-teal during teal season. But if you make an honest mistake, as people do, just don't own up to it. But again, we are in no way condoning the shooting of non-target species during teal season.
yes. Do not
Talking to you, Fish and Wildlife, if you're listening.
Hey, FBI guy inside this iPad, send this over to Fish and Game. No, a matter of fact, talking about that, not last year, but the year before, I was talking to one of the game wardens that was always at the place that I hunted a good bit, and I was like, "Hey, man, who was shooting wood ducks this morning?" Because I had heard that. So there was me, another group, and like one other guy out there, and right after shooting light, well, this wood duck flew through at shooting light. Well, somebody on down the marsh, boom, boom, boom. Well, then I seen the game warden truck flying down the dike. And I asked the game warden, I said, who shot that wood duck? He said, oh, I don't know. And we got talking about it. He said, I understand people make mistakes. Shit happens all the time. He said, matter of fact, there was one time that there was this group of boys out during teal season, and they shot this wood duck. And, I told myself, if they do the right thing, if they pick it up and they bring it out with them, I'm not going to give them a ticket for it. He said, and then I watched one of them mud stomp it. And as soon as that one guy mud stomped it, I gave every single one of them tickets. I said, good to know. So if you're even if it's early teal and you're hunting with somebody and they shoot a wood duck or they shoot a spoony or whatever, make sure they don't mud stomp that bird. Because if they mud stomp that bird and Green Jeans is watching, you're getting a ticket. The guy who shot it getting a ticket. Everybody else in the blind is getting a ticket on top of that. Do the right thing, carry it out.
Yep. So just to take something off another podcast, when we do that stuff, we make all duck hunters look bad. And that's the last thing anti-hunters need is see something on the news or, local newspaper that duck hunter, ticketed for wasteful game or wanton waste. That's what it is,
Yep.
Then they click an article and read about, one of us mud stomping a bird and weren't supposed to shoot. Then we all look bad and, enough people start not liking hunting. Suddenly, we've lost this privilege that we get to do every year.
Well, and even there's enough of that wanton waste shit. Between these snow goose guides that are going out and shooting, 300 birds a day and leaving them in ditches, or I saw it last year. I'm sure you did too. There was a post on Facebook of some guys local to us that left it was a limit of mallards and like 2 green wings laying in a fucking ditch on the side of a major highway. like, excuse me, if you're going to go hunting, do it for the right reasons. And if you're not going to eat what you shoot, donate it. You know what I mean?
You can gift it. It's super easy. Just write down your name, the number of ducks you shot, your phone number, your address, gift to Tom, Dick, or Harry, and that's no longer in your possession.
Right. And I know a lot of folks, like especially with like deer hunting and stuff, right? They'll shoot a deer and they won't eat the deer. They'll carry it to a processor or somewhere else, right? And they'll donate it. They'll donate it to families in need.
Mm-hmm.
If you know a family in need, or if you know of a charitable organization that helps with people like that, or whatever, if you're not going to eat it, first of all, I think if you're not going to eat it, you shouldn't kill it. That's me personally, because I was raised, don't shoot if you ain't going to eat it. But if you still go out and you hunt and you're not going to eat it, do the right thing and donate that meat. Don't let it sit on the side of the road to waste, because that makes me look bad, you look bad, everybody involved, everybody not involved look bad, So, help somebody out. You never know. That mom and dad, 4 houses down, they may be struggling for groceries or whatever. Go knock on the door. Hey, I shot X amount of birds today. I have X amount of meat. Would you be interested in it? I'll give it to you. That's all it takes.
Yep.
Or call your local game warden. I'm sure they can point you in the direction of where to donate that meat to.
Yep. And if all else fails, reach out to www.matt'sahungryboy@kansas.com.
Or
I will always take more duck meat. I love that stuff.
Same. I got one even better. Carry it to your damn local Chinese restaurant. I'm telling you, they'll take that duck meat, and in return, they'll give you whatever the hell you want. You know what I mean? You take care of them folks, they're gonna take care of you. Oh, hello. You want the fried rice or the white rice? They're gonna help you out. They're gonna take care of you.
Oh man. I'm not sure how the local health department's gonna feel about that, but you're probably right.
Well, I mean, I don't think they're going to use that and put it in like dishes that they're serving to the community. They're gonna eat it themselves.
Yeah, you're probably right. That's a very good point.
I've heard of guys back where I'm from going out and catching a bunch of damn bass or crappie or whatever, and they've got too much that they're not going to be able to eat. They'll carry it to the Chinese place and they eat the shit out of it.
That's awesome.
Speaking of Asian folks, is Tommy coming out here this year?
I have not heard. He might, if he can get time off from his very important, Gulfstream job. But I know your favorite, canoe dragging friend Liam is coming with his brother and his dad actually around Thanksgiving. Gonna do a little trip out here. Hopefully get on some birds. So
Good.
There'll be no canoe drags, at least that I'm involved in this year though.
I'm not. I will. Let me tell you something. If that son of a bitch tells me again, oh, it's only like 100 yards, I'm gonna hit him in the fucking mouth. I'm telling you right now, y'all. Last year, we went to hunt this place. This dude says, "Oh yeah, the water's only 100 yards down the dike. We'll just drag everything down there, and we'll be in the water in no time." We walked like a mile down this dike before we ever hit water to put the freaking canoe in the water. If I'm lying, I'm dying. I was pissed. There was 4 of us, 2 of us pulling, 2 of us pushing, and we were rotating out, and it was hell. You got down 3 dozen decoys in a canoe, 4 guns, 4 blind bags, an A-frame that we didn't even need because we was hunting flooded corn. We should take this A-frame anyways. No. We should not have. We could have hid in the corn.
We did.
Anyways, all that, I am not listening to him again when he says it's a 100-yard drag. All right, if it's a 100-yard drag, you go drag it and call me when you get in the water, and I'll come meet you.
Trust but verify. Trust but verify for sure.
Learned my lesson on that one. Liam's a good guy. He's funny, but I could have hit him in the mouth that day. I'm telling you. Now I'm getting winded walking down the dike. I was getting winded. Tommy was pissed. He was pissed.
It was a rough time.
He's just, oh, it's just a little bit further. It's just a little bit further. Well, how much fucking further is a little bit further, bud? Jesus.
Oh, man.
Fuck. Anyways, we about to hit our hour mark on this. I imagine we'll wrap this thing up here. And I just want to say I'm excited to see where this journey takes us, Matt. I appreciate you coming on. And
happy to be here, man.
Hell yeah. I'm exciteder than hell for duck season. Let me tell you right now.
I'm ready. It may not be a great water year again. It may not be a great weather year. I don't know. But regardless, high water, drought, low water, no weather, we get out there and grind on these birds on that public land, and we're going to make it work.
Oh, you damn right. We're going to try to find us a couple of private land holes this year, too, I believe. I got a couple of leads that I'm hoping we can make something out of. And I got a game camera that's just dying to find its way onto a duck hole.
Yes, that would be beautiful. Getting that nice clear image. Just seeing greenheads and pintails.
It ain't even got to be, you ain't got to go out there and check SD cards, nothing like that. Moultrie Mobile has made an all cellular camera. You go out there, you hook it up, you put your batteries in. You ain't got to put your solar power pack on there, but you can. It's a big help. I've got a camera out that's been out for a month and a half now with a solar power pack on it, and it has not dropped below 98%. And it don't run off of Verizon or AT&T or whatever service you have. It's straight up whatever service is best in that area, that's who the camera's connecting to, and you're going to get your pictures like that. So I've got a camera that we need to put on a duck hole. I got one in the deer woods. One needs to go on a duck hole, and I've got a doe on camera that opening weekend of antlerless doe season. She's gonna take a dirt nap.
They eat real good, those does. They eat real good.
Let me tell you something. If it's brown, it's down, brother. You hear me?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Daddy needs some backstrap.
So I wish that we could have more cameras, on public land, but our state decided to do away with that. So that is a no-no on public here in this place. So if you have a state that doesn't allow that, make sure you got your stuff off public, or it's going to get taken by LGW, and he's going to have it for his own.
What's this stuff I hear about filming and making money on the public land here? Because I've looked online, and I have not found any rules, regulations, nothing on that. Obviously, we're not filming and making money off of what we film, but I've heard of a couple of guys getting in trouble for that.
Mm-hmm. So allegedly. I think it's the biggest thing is, it's a public resource, that you're utilizing, whether you're deer hunting, duck hunting, or whatever. And then by monetizing your filming of that public resource, I think that's where it gets, gray areaed. And I don't think anybody, at least in our whole Midwestern area, knows exactly how to deal with that gray area of someone's utilizing public land or public resources and then is making money off of technically that public land. So I kind of see how it could be a gray area. I personally don't have a problem with it.
I mean, I don't have a problem with it,
Yeah, but, they've obviously put in the work to build that following or build that relationship to where they can, get funding off of their product. But I don't think that, at least our state and local governments know how to deal with that legally, and I'm sure there's probably one or two people that they just don't like that, and they're mad about it, and the squeaky wheel gets the grease. So.
Well, my whole thoughts on that is it's a public resource. You can go out in public and you can film whatever and monetize it with no issues, right? So why wouldn't you be able to do it there? I mean, it's not like every cent that you make isn't taxed times 10 anyways, right? You're taxed before it gets to you. You're taxed when it gets to you. You're taxed when you spend it on everything you spend it on. You know what I mean? You're taxed at the end of the year on it. I mean, I don't see why that's an issue, but like I said, I know we had talked to one of the guys at not Squad Fest, at Rogers about it, and he was kind of talking about it, but I've yet to be able to find anything online about it, anything at all. So
I think it's a pretty new issue. And to your point about the taxes, they made you buy a license of, you have to have this stamp to film on public land. I bet they'd be okay with that real quick if they did something like that.
I'm sure they would, and I'd buy that. You know what I mean? Obviously, we're not, like I said, we're not making money off of anything we do. But eventually, I hope that we can get there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And if I got to buy a stamp for that, then so be it. I mean, unless it's like a $200 ATF tax stamp, then I'm not doing it because fuck you, ATF. Anyways, I'll buy their little $25 stamp, their little $50 stamp, but I'm not, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So, like I said, I remember hearing the stuff about it from the one guy, talking to him at Rogers, and then I was curious, and so I've been digging on the internet, and I've not found anything about it.
No. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Anyway, one final thought before we start wrapping up is you talk about stamps. Buy your duck stamps, all right? That money goes straight back to conservation. And two, buy an extra one if you can, all right? Just because you never know when you or your buddy, even though they're all electronic now in a lot of places, somebody forgot to buy their duck stamp. That has happened, not to me, but to someone I was hunting with in the boat who had forgotten to buy his duck stamp while the game warden was checking it. So buy it. That money goes directly back to building more ducks, building more habitat, which we desperately need. So if you can spend another $28, just buy a second or third duck stamp. That's you're investing in your thing that you love. So
to go off of that, your duck stamp, if you buy two, your duck stamp that you use, that is your personal use duck stamp, sign your name on the bottom of that stamp. The game warden's going to look for that. Unless you just have like a permanent e-stamp for the year, if you show him your physical stamp, he's going to look and make sure that your signature is on that stamp. And if it's not, he could be a cool game warden and be like, hey, look, I'll turn my back if you sign this. Or he could be one of those guys that's like, all right, your duck stamp's not signed. You're getting a fat ticket. So sign it, have it with you, and just have it with you anyways, just in case, because you never know, you might be in a place where you don't have good phone service. Game warden comes and wants to see your duck stamp. You ain't got no phone service. Well, I'm gonna treat this like you don't have one. You're gonna get a ticket. Not that they would do that, but
Fed boys might.
You know as well as I do how government entities work.
Yep. So sum it up. Teal season prep. Have your med bag. Have a plan. Practice with a shotgun. Clean your gear. Make sure your gear works before you need it. Because when you need it, you ain't checked it, it's going to break. Always wear blackface.
Big one.
Don't shoot non-teal.
Stay hydrated.
Stay hydrated. Buy your duck stamps. Don't do drugs. Stamps. Be good or be good at it.
Or do drugs, but don't say that I endorsed it. Anyways, y'all, this has been a great episode here with Matt, and I hope y'all enjoy this episode as much as we enjoy sitting down and make it for you. Y'all check out 4riverslayoutboats.com and also moletreemobile.com. That's who this podcast is brought to you by. And also, as always, y'all check out combatwaterfowl.com, sxdecoys.com, bmifirearms.com, and bluebirdwaterfowl.com, and drakewaterfowl.com. I feel like I'm missing one somewhere. It's been a while since we've done this, but
Did you do Four Rivers?
yep.
Okay. No, I think that's all. I think that's all we got.
No, anyways, appreciate it. Appreciate y'all watching, listening, and y'all have a good one.
Say, may your shots be easy and your straps be full. Y'all have a great night.